Hello, everybody. Uh, Welcome tonight to our first episode of our Threadbare AP, the NozamA Oasis. I am so excited to be here as your GM as we collaborate with some of the cast from the QueerXP. Um, it's super fun to have all of y'all, and also to have like a fully queer table, myself included. So I can't wait to see the story that we tell this evening. Before we jump into that story, though, I'm gonna let everyone introduce themselves. So give us your name, the character you're playing, the type of toy you are playing, uh, and just a little bit that you want to share. Uh, we're gonna start with the one who came royally dressed, Kai. We're gonna start, and then pop.
All right. Um, Hello, y'all.
Yeah.
My name is Kai. I go by Glaciate or Classiate. Lots of usernames. My character tonight is the proper, pristine, and pompous Duke. Sir, well, Lord, I might have changed my surname right now. It doesn't matter. What matters is I am the most royal and the most proper man and gentleman, and I am here to give the brightest and shiniest experience for everyone around me. Oh, and I am a sock puppet. Next.
We're gonna send it actually down the line to Aaliyah.
Hello, all. I am Aaliyah the Sorceress. I will be playing tonight's Science Officer Tren from the starship Doomstar. She is a mecha character, a rock solid toy from the early 60s, just solid hunk of plastic of your favorite spaceship adventure TV series. Yeah, so that is me. I will pass it along.
Awesome. I guess I am next. My name is DJ, and I'll be playing Cutie the cutie, the cootie bug, and that voice will be ingrained in your all's head for a while. I am also a mecha, and I'm playing the Dollface class.
And then me on the end. So I am Jason Larock, and I'm going to be playing a mecha battery is not included jack of all trades type named Scotch Bonnet. And he is a doomsday prepper. Kinda we're sticking with some of the themes that were in the Threadbare book, and I'm very excited for it. Um but yeah, let's get going. Let's see what's up.
I am so excited to begin the story. And before I even jump in, for those of you who are not familiar with Threadbare, it is a Stitch Punk RPG game that is a Power by the Apocalypse system. So all of my players tonight will be rolling 2d6 and only 2d6. And based upon their roll, of course, there's always benefits to failing, as well as benefits to succeeding. Before we start, as it is a little bit post-apocalyptic, a few just content warnings for those who are watching. Both myself, as well as our production team and our cast, have all filled out consent forms, so we know all of the veils and lines to which we will be exploring this evening. But for those of you who are watching, a few things that may or may not come up during this game are inferences of body horror as they come about toys, a little bit of some horror or creepy, spooky atmospheres are really the two that are at the top of the list. And that being said, all of our games are streamed live, but also go up on YouTube. So if you ever feel the need to take a break, step away, and want to rejoin later, they are there for 2 weeks here on Twitch, as well will be up on YouTube for your enjoyment. And at a later date in podcast form over on the QueerXP. But before we jump in to the NozamA Oasis, as we begin, as the world around you sets, it is a crowded space of cardboard and toys, bips and bobs, dark corners filled with cobwebs, the echo of beeping in the foreground, some flashing lights off in the distance. In the corner of all of this, where the story takes place, is this beacon of hope, this beacon of sanctuary, where those boxes that have fallen, where these awakened objects and toys began a new life and began to create. You see as some of these different objects that were once houses or once confinements to these awakened toys have now become homes, have now become structures, have now grown into these buildings, places to find community, places to adorn yourselves, places where you all meet together to find comfort. As the camera pans around to all of these different places, we zoom in to the main bastion of hope, the revival bunker. And we see you, Scotch Bonnet. What are you doing today at the beginnings?
So out front of what looks like, I want to say, a hobbled together bunker that kind of digs deep into a pile of boxes, miscellaneous, just different things. Out front there is a series of unfolded and refashioned paper clips into something akin to a lawn chair. And Scotch Bonnet, which is a collection of equally miscellaneous objects, old computer mice, a Tamagotchi head, a barrel of monkeys on his arm, replacing what would have been a forearm and fist, bionicle pieces, Tinker Toys, Legos, different things just keeping him whole. He's reclining until a little chime, a little click kind of alerts him to the fact that his spare set of batteries is finished charging. And he kind of stretches out a little bit from his seat and steps up to cross over and pick up one of the batteries from the charger and replaces the one on his back with the one that was in the charger and clicks it into place. Takes a look off into the distance at the other homes and buildings and structures that have kind of built the Oasis. And he sighs because he knows it's another day where he's got to go to town. He has to get out there and he's got to interact with the people that have built this community around him despite his desire to survive independently. He knows that now there's a community that is surviving along with him, and they, to a degree, need him. Or at least that's what he's kind of built up in his mind, that these other toys need him and his guidance and his experience, which he doesn't have a lot of. But he likes to think he does. Once he's all powered up for the day, he heads off to town.
As you make your way out of your bunker, you see a smattering of people kind of walking by you, and as you kind of make your first way out, there's a group of kids that are carrying this very like heavy object. Oh, SB! Oh, look at this! And you see as these very kind of like gangly, kind of like rubbery looking girls with this like very like twiny hair, almost like spaghetti, kind of like pull this object over to you. We found this and it is so cool. I mean, it is, and it's this giant plastic sphere, flat, with these very like 4 different holes in the center. It's like, we feel like maybe this could be, I don't know, something to help us like roll, because like watch this, and like they help prop it up and they push it as it travels. It weebles a little bit down and then falls again. We think if like maybe we could find another one. It could be like, I don't know, like I saw this picture of like a wheeled thing. Maybe we could make one of those. It could help us with, you know, the different like jewels we find. Things to help travel. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
Well, it's a start, I'd say. And he kind of walks over and kind of patrols around it, kind of taps it a little bit. I do see the potential. There is potential here. I will, let's see. How about this? I will take stock of this for now. And once I've gotten through the stuff that I've got to look at from, you know, the last hole, I'll take a look, and I mean, we'll see what we can do. But I do appreciate you bringing this to my attention.
Oh, okay, great. And you see, kind of like as they make their way down and kind of like pick up this spherical thing, and kind of like drag it back to this pile that you have noticed, that is kind of accumulated next to the front of your door, at the revival. As you continue to make your way through town, you see the gentle waves. There's different dolls, and like as they kind of like, some of them bow to you, and you kind of just keep going as you make your way through, for the rest of your day, kind of just perusing. And is there anything that you're looking for, or is there any task that you typically do, or is this more of like a showing of face?
I think for today there is a goal in mind. The charger that I currently have for my my batteries, the cord that kind of stretches from the back of Revival to the nearest kind of wall outlet is starting to fray. And if I don't take care of that soon or find some kind of replacement for it, I'm going to be down a few rechargeable batteries, and I'm going to have to go back to finding single use, which is really hard to come by, especially with a lot of these toys coming in with, no batteries because the packaging didn't supply them. So whoever in town I tend to go to the most, which would probably be, whoever is out and about in the beyond the Oasis. I'd probably go and check in to see if anything popped up, any notices of packaged chargers, any new batteries, things like that, because it's not a current issue that, a pressing issue, but it's something that down the line could be pretty bad if it isn't taken care of.
All right. So you know of one person in particular who tends to travel out and beyond the safety and the tranquility that is this oasis. So you make your way to see if Tren has awoken for the day, as they are probably your best bet and finding new things that you cannot find on your own within the safety of this town that you have created. So, Tren, what are you doing before Scotch Bonnet arrives?
And I'm just in my domicile, my general haunt where I exist. I am for the day preparing my itinerary, getting the things that I need to write down for my day written down. I am planning to go for a excursion out into one of the new sectors that I've mapped out and have yet to explore, which is essentially how I spend my time, is exploring the wasteland and as much of this area as I possibly can. In addition to sending off whatever communications I possibly can to my starship, which I feel is out there looking for me. They can't have forgotten me on this alien world for too long, and I'm sure my crew will be here to save and rescue me. Oh, we're just missing your voice.
Yep, there's a button there. So as you begin pulling everything together for your day, as you get ready to explore and make communications to send back to get ready to be rescued, um, there is a brief rapping at your door as Scotch Bonnet arrives.
I see you're up.
Mr. Bonnet, what can I do you for this fine day?
Ah, you can just call me Scotch. You don't have to do the whole formalities thing.
Absolutely, Mr. Bonnet.
Okay. Well, this isn't supposed to be an alarming situation, but I thought I'd bring it to your attention because I understand you're going out soon for your next foray.
I should be, as long as I keep to my schedule, out and on the road in less than 30 minutes. Another hour
Oh.
to get out to the sector, and I will be exploring this new sector. I saw it yesterday, and there were some interesting anomalies that I feel could be investigated today.
Mm-hmm. Well, while you're out and about, can I bother you for a bit of a favor?
I can most certainly try. What do you need?
I need some eyes on a new battery charger. It looks like mine's starting to go a little bit. It's kind of the bits near the actual charger itself is starting to go, starting to fray a little bit, and if I don't take care of this soon, it's gonna be rough down the road, one might say.
Well, like I said, from what I saw of this new sector yesterday, there are some promising advantages which I could check.
Okay.
I may need to enlist some help, though. Let me confer with the other inhabitants here, and perhaps we can send out a search party.
That would be fantastic. I don't like putting more on your plate. I know you've already got your schedule. You know what things you're looking for. And it's just,
Nonsense, Mr. Bonnet. This is what the Federated Commonwealth Starfleet does. We help people.
and I do appreciate all of the help from the who's you what's it flippity flop. But I this is super important. So if I've only got a few batteries left. So if this can just, I don't want to, bump it up on your list, but if you could bump it up on your list, that would
I
be
will definitely accelerate that to an urgently needed item. Don't you worry.
perfect. And then don't have to fill out any paperwork, any files, nothing for that.
Well, you're not a member of the Commonwealth Federated Starfleet, so for us, no. But for any of your local government agencies, you probably should.
Well, once that's created, I'll get back in touch with you about those papers.
Excellent, Mr. Bonnet. Well, as you can see, it is getting late, and unless you wanted to join the search party, we would be more than happy to welcome you, but you have been slightly reticent to come to these parties before.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the day that it just kind of speaks to me. The vibes are there, and they're not there today. I've also got,
Excellent.
a backload of stuff I've got to go through anyway, so I'm very, very busy.
Well, excellent, Mr. Bonnet. I believe I must be on my way, and to get this day started. Would you like?
Yeah, I don't want to take up any more of your 30 minutes of spare time before you've got to go.
Excellent, Mr. Bonnet.
Okay, so I'll just check back in with you when you get back. Best of luck in your trip. Have
I
fun.
I will report into you as soon as I get back, sir. That is the Starfleet way.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. And he kind of shuffles out.
And
Tren, as you continue your where do you go from this?
well, to hear one of my most eager and just attentive companions to go out on these excursions with, someone who I can honestly count on to be eager and go with me, I head over to Cutie's fish pond where they hang out. Um, to go interact with them and see if I can get them to come along on this search party. So
All right. So as Tren is making her way through town, the camera pulls as the montage of walking, and kind of swirls back into this little pond, this ring of blue, almost purely blue, that keeps swirling and swirling with little kind of beautiful orange fishes just and going underneath and going underneath. And we see QT sitting there, fishing pole attached, staring into the crystalline blue plastic beneath him. What's QT doing?
So QT sighs very deeply and is lazily not really paying attention to the fishing pole, and just is looking at the water and sees one of the orange fish pop up and just goes, "Oh, Alonso, what am I gonna do today? I don't know." And just wallowing in self-pity for no reason.
Wow, QT. would like to do? We're great friends to have. As you notice, all of the fish are kind of talking in unison as their mouths open. Is there a place you would like to go? Or we could play a game?
At the word game, QT like perks an eyebrow. A game, you say? Frederick, do tell.
Ah, yes, a game. So, pick one of us that you think you might catch first. And we'll decide if you win. And you hear this like this clamoring
Oh,
of like
I mean, this game,
they
you
discuss.
always love this game. But I think if I'm going after anyone, it's Dahlia today.
Oh, it's always me. You hear like back in the corner. All right. 3. And you roll. Can you roll for me? 2d6 plus 1 for your tie. And smile.
Oh, I'm really good at smile. I'm adorable. I got a 12.
As you kind of lunge forward to throw your fishing pole, the moment that Thalia's mouth opens, it immediately closes around the fishing pole. Oh, god damn it.
Cutie will
You know-
reel Dahlia in. Yay! Oh, Dahlia! Elijah, what do I win?
You win a sparkle. And you see as like their tail kind of wraps around and a piece of glitter just attaches to your face, almost like a little beauty mark.
If QT could squeal and like if dogs were a thing and dogs would like twitch at that is the level of unadulterated joy that is pouring out of this tiny plastic little cootie game. As they very carefully put Dahlia back in their water, but they are just like.
I would say Scotch, Bonnet, and Tren, as you're both walking around town, you see like the mechanical dogs that were sleeping now starting to do flips, and just like the consistent yip 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 yip. Unbeknownst as to why this is happening. And they just want you see like as like some of the smaller like the army men are kind of like trying to like wrangle them, be like, no, calm down, calm down, calm down. To quiet the excitement that is happening. Yes.
QT would love this.
And like you can hear like the yips and like the commotion in the background, QT, as you are at your tranquil pond, being like, what is going on?
Someone is
so-
very noisy for this early in the morning.
I think as you throw Dahlia back into the pond, you can kind of feel someone enter your tranquil space as Tren arrives.
Tren! Hi! Did you find something?
I haven't found something, Mr. T, but I was wondering if you might help me out into the wastes where we could both go find something.
In the outside?
Yes, just outside the Oasis. Mr. Bonnet has actually requested that we go find a tool device for him.
Oh, I like Scotch. Okay.
And you know,
Alonso, you were right. I can do whatever I want. This sounds good, Tren.
excellent. As long as I'm not interrupting you or pulling you from any of your duties.
Good duties. No. Do
Excellent.
we know what we're looking for?
It was described to me as a battery charger. I have some physical descriptions. It looks like a black box with long string coming out of one end and two metal spikes coming out another.
Sounds dangerous.
I believe I may have seen one in the unexplored sector that I was viewing last night.
Okay. Is it big? Are we gonna need more people? Well, us.
Well, logically thinking, more hands does make lighter work.
I mean, I have lots of feet.
Well, yes, you should probably bring your work feet along too. We
Got
don't
it,
know
the
what kind of
card.
environment we're going to be running into.
I need to find some treads. We could go. I think Duke would be good here. If anything else, he's fun and pretty.
Well, for a confused little creature, he is quite useful.
Plus, he might know where some shinies are.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Once
speaking
more-
of new shiny,
That is a very impressive shiny, Mr. T.
do you know where Duke is?
Usually, Duke ends up finding me. I've never really had the need to go find Duke.
Fair. And QT will just like not moving, just Duke, just start like yelling for Duke. Duke. Duke!
That is one effective
So, Duke.
strategy.
Duke, how do you normally start your morning as you awake for the day? Where do you find yourself with the yips of the twirling mechanical dogs in that chaos, hearing in the distance? Where are you in the NozamA Oasis?
Oh, yes, I do believe these dogs are particularly nice to have around. They are yapping out that much, but that is a way of. How can I say this? The royal dogs of the ones that I am most familiar of. They do indeed yap a lot, so this is most proper. And so Duke goes to each individual dog and kind of gives them a little bow tie on top of their heads. As soon as they continue to yap, kind of ruining the service and the job the guards were doing in calming them down. But he ignores completely the guards and continues doing that, walking around giving them little bows. And then, yes, I do honestly believe that now this particular vehement of the guard is most proper. Y'all should use a little more glitter. Oh, I feel like someone is going to ask for my request. It might also be that this place is ugly. And so he starts to walk away. Kinda aimlessly. He walks around, he grabs a little thing here, a little patch of cloth there. He doesn't care mostly if it's being taken by someone, because if he's taken from someone, he gives them something much shinier in response. Because honestly, why do you need this piece of clothing? It's brown. Do not match brown. Here, have some glitter. And then he keeps walking and just give the brown clothing for someone that matches.
As you're like making your way through town, you hear a call behind you, Monsieur Duke, Monsieur Duke. As you turn around and Madame B is traveling behind you, kind of running. Ah, I see you found some new fabric. Oh,
Oh,
fantastic, fantastic, fantastic.
oh yes, Miss
Did you
B.
find some new gems? I need some new
Oh,
gems. There's some things that need a little bit
hmm.
more pizzazz.
Oh, I
Yes.
did not find gems, sadly. The gem box I found you last month was the best thing, but I could not find a replacement. I found a new
Oh,
chain. It was a metal chain. It's really shiny.
oh. Um. Well, then maybe I will talk to Scotch Bonnet about that one. Um. And you
Hmm.
see as uh Madame B is covered in jewels. You see the tied yarn that has like little gems kind of within it. There is just the entire dress is covered with little bedazzlements. Uh and you watch, she's like, oh, it looks like one of yours fell off. And she presses her cloth hand into the brim of your hat to fasten another gem. Ah, but this lovely fabric that you found, I will take this from you, and I will make it pretty. Just let me know where you got it from, and I will return it. Because we all need everyone to be just as bedazzled and darling as we are.
Of course. Can you imagine if this place was any less dull? Like, if people actually wore? Well, if we could walk around and see the glimmer and glitter that we see amongst ourselves.
There will be a day that I get a gem on Scotch Bonnet. Ah, that day I cannot wait.
Oh,
But yes, ah,
hmm.
it will be wonderful. I mean, I've heard so many things.
Oh,
um,
did you?
there's oh yes. So
I'm most
did you
curious.
know
Hmm.
that Sally Spaghetti and Paul Polina are in a fight?
Oh,
Apparently, that is this round thing that is going around town, and Sally Spaghetti and Paul Polina found it together. But Sally Spaghetti took it to Scotch Bonnet to get some flavor. So who knows?
without Paulina?
Without Paulina!
Oh, most outrageous! I do
I know.
understand the eagerness of a fight in this case.
They are roommates. They share a box.
I cannot believe in such betrayal. I
I
would,
know.
I would really give some spaghetti a few words, very stern one. Yes.
Yes.
Um.
But you know
Hmm.
who Popolina talks to is Cutie.
Hmm. Kitty. Yes.
Cutie. Cutie
Hmm.
hears everything.
Indeed.
What if, oh, what if we could, like, I talked to Sally Spaghetti. They are coming in for a dress fitting later today. And
Ooh,
you go and talk to Cutie.
I indeed am asking him. I need to give QT a little more shiny parts.
Perfect. All
Oh,
right. So we
what a
have
good coincidence, isn't it?
such a good coincidence.
Yes, 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 yes. After that, I will reconvene with you and we can
Yes.
go to the bottom of the situation.
Perfect. All right. Off. I'm going to go and bedazzle.
And I'm going to go and make things shiny. And I starts to run off, wobbling my floppy arms around and stealing other more things.
All right. As you make your way through, as you're continuing throughout town, as you make your way closer to uh, where QT and you know QT normally is, you can hear the calls of your name in the distance.
I'm gonna
As you
try
find your
make
way to
an incredible entrance as I arrive. Possibly throwing
you make
glitter
your way up
everywhere.
to describe your entrance as you make your way into the fish pond.
So, amidst the scenery around the boxes and the 3 cartons, y'all see as this magnificent sock walks around, glitter chimes in the air, and he goes, "Hello, I am called and I came, for all that is majestic comes in the right time." Oh, hello, Tren.
Hello, Mr. Sir Lord, and it is pleasant to find you today.
I am sure it is.
We were
Hello,
See-
Kitty.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
no.
I just said hello.
You see QT flip around a backpack, ruffle through it, pull out 2 more arms, replace 2 of their legs, and just all 4 like applauding as you've shown up. Oh,
Yes.
Duke, always an entrance. It's majestic.
Thank you.
And then
thank
replace
you.
them.
I believe I was called here. What is the situation?
Well, you see, Mr. Bonnet actually came to me with a request. He
Ooh.
needs a battery charger. I enlisted Mr. T's help over here, and we were planning an expedition to go out into the new unexplored sector. And we're wondering, more hands makes lighter work. We're wondering if you might come to help on this wonderful endeavor.
Tell me more about this undiscovered part that you're going to explore.
Well, we've never been there.
That is a very good point.
It is undiscovered.
Oh, I see. Perhaps there are shiny things in there.
It is illogical to think that we would find out without going there. Can we count
I
on
am
your support?
convinced I will go.
Excellent. So we are all now in agreement and bonded together as an adventuring party.
Oh no, not yet. Duke goes around, he takes a little glitter that's on the ground and he goes and gives it to Tren. Now you're matching with QT. Now we are a team.
I may not understand the reasons, but I do agree in the logic of uniform identification.
Oh yes. My reasons are always correct.
QT also is looking at Tran as like, bonded? That sounds like adult toys.
Bonding is just simply the way 2 objects are connected together. What you do or imagine in your own time is of less concern to me, Mr. T. Shall we be off?
Let's not talk about bonding when a sock is in the midst, right?
To explore!
Explore!
Stop, Tren! As you were going to you're walking to your last known spot of exploration, to like kind of the hub right outside. You have found this piece of like plastic type paper map that is under that you've laid out on the ground, and you have different like X's of where you've explored and have notes written on this map, and you go to an area where there are notes that are written that you have things like long tendrils, large blocks, where you know that you would be able to find what Scotch Bonnet is looking for. And then right next to it is the unexplored territory. So you know where to go to find the possibility of this item. And then also what your actual next task is. So the choice is yours. You can do both.
Both finding a charging block for, or an item for Mr. Bonnet, and exploring the unexplored sector is the other thing.
Yeah, so like as you kind of like look at this large kind of, it would be probably to you about like 10 feet by 8 feet long of this like plastic piece that has different things labeled already in like cubed sectors. So you can see like where E is, where you've already explored and like made notes from like your central hub. And you went from like E, C you've explored, and then you were going to F next to kind of like figure out what is around you. So you went like in diagonals and back. C, you know, is filled with like loose kind of like materials that are encased in, what's inside of them are like harder kind of like chalky things that you have read on the package as DOOF, GOOD, from like where you were standing, and like have seen like the cascading kind of mountains of them, and like moved on to the next sector to kind of expand what is there. So making your way through the
forest.
The forest, yeah. The forest of pebbles and weird malign kind of tendrils into the more tough and silicone hard metal types, which is where you know you might be able to find the item for Scotch. And then right above it was the unexplored, and then right below it was also unexplored. So
well, we're definitely trappings there, and I'm now, Mr. Sir Lord, Mr. T. One of the thing we are specifically looking for, as it was described to me by Mr. Bonnet, is it looks like a cradle, and it will have a big black object in it that will have a cord and some shiny metal coming out of the other side. That's the thing that we're looking for. Yes, I know, QT, shiny. This is what you're good at. It's why I brought you. And
I am interested.
Excellent. Well, the other thing that I did see from afar in Sector C while I was exploring it the other day is that there do seem to be some shiny and harder objects in this direction. So,
I'm excited.
Curious. I'm sorry, Kitty. Please continue.
We traipse and we go into the unexplored sector. passing through. This is now as far as I've ever been or ever gone from the hub, the Oasis, and exploring with trepid interest. Like, interesting. Anything that might be different or look different or anything like that. Absorbing as many details as possible.
Okay, remind me, what sector did you go up from C or?
Yes, up from C. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So as you go up from C to make your way to E, you hit on the map what is labeled F. This place is frigid. It is cold. You are making your way through these areas that are just lined with these bright, fluorescent white lights. You see in cases this crystalline, different structure where you can see different fragments kind of pulled together of this ice, this different kind of almost magical looking ability. It is almost as if there is winter or frozen or snow encased in these large metallic shelving units. Inside, as you go up, and you can kind of like climb your way through these like step holds at the bottom, and you get your way up to looking inside. You see what looks like plastic and different like pebble type green things. And you can read and see the letters EAP. You can see NEAB, NAEB, yeah. And you like get your way down and you like continue crawling. This is not typically a move, but I'm making it one. Can all of you roll scrounge for me?
Ooh. I do have a +2 on Scrown. I got a 10.
Okay.
I have a 9.
Okay.
13.
Nice. All right. So as you're making your way through, you can kind of like hear this like this clittering and clattering, kind of in the shadows in the distance. This sound of shh, 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 beep, shh, beep, shh. And you all hold still for a moment. You all wait. You move slowly through. Tren, you notice as you're kind of going through this sector, not much changes. You see pillar after pillar, different sections changing, but still that same formation. As you get to something warmer and more familiar. You've made it to section E. you also have new territory that you know about.
That whole ice forest thing back there, just a
Mhm.
little creepy. We went past the sound, like it was making
Yes,
that.
you made your way. Like the sound didn't seem to notice you, but you noticed it. Uh, so you know that feeling. You know that it was uncomfortable, and all of you kind of had that instinct to, hey, we need to be a little bit more quiet. We need to tone it down to get to where we need to go. Uh, so you've made your way to the next to where you can find Scotch Bonnet's uh, item. Before we do that, hey Scotch Bonnet, what you doing?
Oh boy. Um, Probably say going back to start going through the pile of stuff that's out front of Revival. Just because even though that strange thing that was brought to me this morning um
Mhm.
was so unique to what's been brought over the past couple of days. I think this is gonna be bumped up in my list of items that I really need to take a look at. Even though there is this huge backlog of stuff, this one is now at the top of my list. And I want to take a look at it while I have the time. Um, and it's probably just safer to stay by my current charger in case Tren and whoever is along on this expedition comes back with something. I'm there
Mhm.
to receive them.
All right. So so you have this new item. What are the ideas that are popping into Scotch Bonnet's head of how this can be useful? Of how from this mound of things that have been brought in, is there something in particular that you're looking for, or is this a sketch thing where it's like you have this item and you're trying to move things around it?
I think there's been a ongoing project towards building some kind of mode of transportation.
Hmm. Okay.
I know that there have been, more than likely in the past, things like RC cars, things like Hot Wheels, and other kinds of transportation that have been welcomed into the community, but it feels kind of odd to recruit them solely for driving individuals to and from destinations. So I think the project currently is to build something with the capacity to transport goods. Because over
Okay.
the last few days, weeks even, I feel that with the amount of stuff that's being brought in, now that Tren is having these expeditions and that people like Duke and QT are bringing more miscellaneous goods in from beyond the confines of the community, uh, it's probably about time that Scotch buckle down and do something as a thank you. Um, but it's under the guise of, oh, this will benefit the town. You know, this is something that it's something that anyone can use. It's something that the entire community can benefit from having, and not necessarily a, you guys have brought me a lot of stuff, some really cool stuff. You've given me a lot to look at, and we're kind of starting to fortify our town and our community based on the contributions you guys have made. So here's some kind of makeshift wheelbarrow, some kind of little pull cart, something like that. And this piece that was brought in this morning really feels like it could be a good axle of some kind to kind of fit more wheels on it, or a steering wheel of some kind, or something to expand on that project. And I think this project is something that he's kept hidden inside of his bunker for a while. So he kind of uses it as a tray to pick a few strange pieces off of the pile. And he retreats into the bunker to start fiddling with what he has to see if by the time they get back, maybe he can have this done.
Perfect. Roll me for find something. So your 2d6 plus your scrounge.
Okay. Don't fail me. Okay. 7.
7. Okay. Fantastic. As you are going through this pile of things that the community members have brought to you, things that they have found on the outskirts, not just things that QT has found, but things that Sally Spaghetti has found, that Madam B has found, Tren, Duke alike, that have brought you knowing that you are the master at craftsmanship. You take this piece, this round button, and find different holes, and you find smaller pieces that are very similar, and you find all of these different components to build this contraption that uses that piece that Sally Spaghetti brought to you as that center hub, filling those holes with different threads and twine and pulls to then hook it onto a basket, to then hook it onto a seat, to then give it an axle to steer. And you sit on it for a second, and you're like, how do I make this move? Can you roll me Jerry Rig? So that is going to be...
There we go.
Scrounge again. But because of your passion behind this, I'm going to give you a +2.
Ooh, wow. All right. Don't mess it up. Oh boy, okay. That is a 10.
Perfect. You see as you're sitting there, you're like, how do I make this move? How do I make this move? And you see those gems and those jewels that Madam B keeps leaving you. And you see how perfectly you can align them to rest your feet when you turn them over.
Okay.
And you think and you see, and now it's all sparked together. You grab more twine, you grab this chain that Duke gave you earlier, you grab all of these different things together. And you have created a tricycle with a basket in the front that, as you look at it, as you have built it around your size and your stature. Could easily fit Duke.
Mm-hmm.
QT could probably squeeze in there. And then you find 2 more pieces. You stick them to the back of the wheels. Put another little handlebar out. Huh. I could ride around with 4 people. Light bulb goes off in your brain. You pull it out. Shine it up. How do you feel?
It isn't rare that he feels a sense of community. But looking at this creation and running through all of the different ways that it can be modified to include more people, there's that feeling of, I want to see this in action. I want to see who can ride this. I want to see what it can carry. I want to see how it can be used. I want to see how it goes from, the bunker into the rest of town. And I want to see what other people think of it, because he is incredibly proud of it. And it's one of those things where it's another step towards the town being self-sufficient. So he's going to kind of bring it out and kind of walk it out of the bunker. And one of the things that he notices from where the entrance of his bunker is that he can kind of see past a few of these long metallic bracers that are kind of on the ends of some of the aisles in the spaces beyond town. There's a bit of paper tacked up onto the wall, and it is an O from some sign, and he kind of, with a little cup of paint that was brought in, he kind of writes the O on the front of the basket to kind of symbolize it, like, this is for, Oasis, this is for us. So he kind of paints that on there, waits for it to dry a little bit, and I guess similarly to, the Grinch riding all of the presents back into town, this grumpy man bikes this ridiculous 4-person tricycle from Revival down to town.
Fantastic. As you continue with this contraption, kind of going into town, and you kind of, as you make your way, because of how proud you are, figure out how to steer and kind of do like that, like, dirt slide. As you get there, and you see as Sally Spaghetti, who brought you this, with her group of other children, kind of like, oh my god, I helped do something, yay. I knew you could use it, I knew you could. Fantastic.
I mean, it was the one piece that I needed that kind of kickstarted that idea. So, I mean, thank you for bringing that to my attention. And he kind of gets up off of the tricycle, and if you want to take a seat on it, see how it feels. I mean, this is strictly for, the town and for expeditions in for work purposes, but since there is currently work undergoing, I guess, you're welcome to give it a go.
Oh my god, really? Really, really, really?
Of course, yeah, go for it.
Fantastic! And you watch as like Sally Spaghetti like climbs onto it, uh, and immediately like goes to like attempt to pedal, and just like the contraption doesn't move, but she does, and just kind of like falls into the ground, and there's like this plume of dust. Oh,
Uh,
I guess I have to work on it.
I mean, there is the basket. If you want to try sitting in the basket, I can just do like a loop around if you
Would you really? And she just immediately clambers
just
into
one,
the
just
basket.
just one time, just one.
Okay.
Then he gets back on, and once Sally's kind of in the basket, he'll pedal the tricycle around in a circle to kind of do like a donut around the center of town.
As you do this, you watch as all of the townspeople kind of like come out. You watch as the group of these like tiny green men who were just been patrolling, who were trying to keep the dogs calm earlier, have now surrounded. You hear clamoring from little toys as they like the musician toys that just like keep clapping and like banging on their drums. You have now created a whole festival, and this day will forever be the day of the tricycle
Oh boy.
within town. As you see this, you look up onto there's this neon screen that is written 002 that denounces the day. Granted, it's always 00 something. So 002 will forever be the day of the tricycle, where Scotch Bonnet has created something new to be enjoyed. And you have given hope to this town the way that you have always given hope.
Happy Tricycle
Back to
Day,
the people who
everyone.
give you hope.
Yeah, happy Tricycle Day, everybody.
So back to the people who give you hope to continue this. Tren, Duke, and QT. You have now entered a sector that, Tren, you are familiar with. This is a sector that you have explored. This is a sector that you know well. You look along the large metallic structures that are woven with these thick black, blue, neon different cords and tendrils. You see the bases of these blocks with the metallic teeth that poke out. You know what specific end is needed that comes out of these cords, because they do all have different, some of them are white with different silver lines. You have some that are thick that have a hole in them. You have some that are cylindrical in shape with little divots. And you know that you are looking for a specific small end attached to one of these cords, these tendrils. It has two little teeth and a small little divot. What do you do?
Sorry, I am looking for that, or I see that one.
you were looking for that.
And would I have described this to these two boys? Well,
Would you have?
gentlemen. And I would be like, this is the thing that we're looking for. We are now here. It is most efficient to split up and search efficiently throughout these whole ways. We are trying to help out one of our town folk as it is, so it would be best to find these as quick as possible.
I concur that passing through the little trial we had was a bit much in regards to my tendencies. You see, I had to stay silent. I could not critique the amount of glamorous crystalline formations that we had as that dreadful beep made my woe pump. So I do not feel particularly inclined to split up. I do fear that other dangers might be around. Why do not we search together? Maybe more eyes will quickly see what just a pair will not.
QT will think for a second and then look to Duke, rustle around in their bag, and pull out this giant red hat and matching red sunglasses and put them on and say, "It sounds like we need to be sneaky."
Oh, I do love the way you think about sneakiness. The most flashy colors are the best for that, I am sure. So,
no one knows who I am.
Exactly.
And
I like
QT
those.
will. Mhm.
I like those cables. Please continue. I will just look at them. And he
QT
stops every thought and looks at them.
QT will look at Trad and say, "I think that splitting up makes a little sense, but why don't Duke and I go that way, and you go that way, so we're still kind of doing both?"
That is a most reasonable suggestion, Mr. T. And so, yeah, I do that while just like shaking my head.
All right. So for QT and Duke, who is actually looking for the device? Because one of you is going to look for find something, and one of you is going to, well, one of you is going to roll for find something, and one of you is going to roll for help someone. So,
I think you are most
I like both
capable of having your detective work, Mr. QT. Allow me to be of assistance instead of relying on my own talent. Even though there are many, perhaps yours are best in this situation.
QT will whisper, "Duke, I'm not QT. Right now I am Carmen."
I'm sorry. Even more reason, Carmen. I love the name. That has a nice ring to it. Even more reason. It does. Make your search, Carmen, and I will be of assistance. Perhaps we can also grab that one cable that right there. It's really shiny. It's really calling to me. But later, let's find what we came here for.
I like that. We'll find it, and then we'll get some more for us.
Yes.
All right. So, Duke, can you roll me 2d6 plus 1 for your tie with QT?
All right. I do have paired up. It's my sock move. That whenever I help
Okay.
someone, I treat any partial success as a 10. So just a little.
Good to know.
And that is indeed an 8 that I got with my history, but now it's a 10.
All right. Perfect. All right. So you actually get 3 from the following. Grant 1 to someone for their next move. Take the consequences on a failure. Nothing breaks as a result from your help. Fantastic. Someone else can help 2, and then points to the next helper. Wait, there's only 2 of you, so I would say if you chose the last one, the QT would also get +2, because I make my own rules. I know there's rules, but
So I'll make the choices that will give QT. Actually, sorry, that will give Carmen
okay.
+2, and
My bad.
you said I have 3, right?
Yeah. So if you
Yes.
so Grant
So
+1.
Grant +1, other one is helping, and nothing breaks.
Great. All right. So QT will roll for find something, which I believe is plus scrounge, and you get a +2.
QT got a 13.
Fantastic. So as Duke and Carmen are are looking around and finding these different tendrils and different ends that all kind of feed into the same thing, you pull out a stack. You kind of like go in and you kind of see that there's a group of them that all look the same. And you pull it out. And you kind of like tug. You tug again. And as you like pull even harder, you realize that there's a little bit more heft to the bottom as they are attached to this base that has those 2 teeth that you were also looking for. And you kind of pull it out as all of these like tendrils fall upon you, almost like multiple feather boas. Some of them are black as night, or like this very like clean noir color, and then you have some that are also like super sparkly, with like different like neon colors involved, that all like have a matching box. So you've now pulled 4 different cords as you make your way to the meeting post with Tren. Tren, I would also like you to roll for find something. The anticipation.
9.
9.
That too.
Fantastic. So as you're kind of running through and kind of looking and notating, you do get a little bit distracted as you're finding more things that you haven't seen before, where you're seeing that there's actually, where these cords are encased in this kind of foam almost, this kind of like very flimsy but still sturdy, and you mark down the different notations, USB-C, lightning, aux. So you kind of like get a little bit distracted, but you do find the end that you need to, and you kind of pull out this cord. This cord that like you think will will match Scotch. It's very this like kind of like metallic-y interwoven weaving part. And you make your way back to the meeting point with the other two, Duke and Kaique.
Yeah.
As we see Tren, you'll see Cutie taking off the hat and glasses and putting them away, and like looking very proud of themselves, but like trying to keep it a little like under. Like, it was fine.
Oh, Duke is not, and Duke is really gloating by the fact that they found something incredible, and he's singing praises to himself and to Carmen, Kuti, and yes, we did an amazing job. It was incredible. Look at these colors. Look at this sparkle. Hello, Tren.
Hello, crewmans. It looks like you were successful as well. And I show off like the cord that I have brought off with the two ends. It's it seems
More successful. I am interrupting you. Sorry.
nothing. No bother, Mr. Sirlord. I was just letting you know that I had got these things and it was no problem. It seems that we have at least succeeded in finding that cord for Mr. Bonnet. But as much as I would like to stay out here, I do feel we should probably get this back to him. It was probably quite urgent to get the power we all need.
Indeed. I do believe that we also have more than they ask for. Look at these cables. This particular one has glitter in the side of the plastic.
I do happen to know a certain special cootie that would find that very interesting.
Who is it? Do I have to? I want that.
I'm talking about you, Mr. T.
I was gonna say there's more cuties.
If only we could be so lucky. And try and get everyone herded back into at least the ice forest.
As you herd your way through, you probably know like the safest way to make it back. You know that you can either go through F, the ice forest, or you can go down through C to make your way back to the Oasis. As you come in, before you even reach the outskirts of the Oasis, you can hear these different sounds, the sounds of melody and tempo and beats being played. There's laughter. There is a very wonderful sound as you make your way and come into the light of town, and you can see Scotch Bonnet at this point very, very lethargic, as they have probably at this point made 5, 6, 7 different donuts with different people from the town. You watch as there are 2 people in a basket. You see as this like sock puppet, the sock is kind of like flying out. It's wonderful like little tassel at the top, just kind of like floating in the air as Scotch Bonnet. You watch as this this Barbie is kind of like holding onto this plastic doll, kind of keeping it in place. And behind on the handlebars is this very, very ripped, kind of all plastic toy, where you see the yellow kind of tank top, you see the red bandana, you see the faux hair kind of coming down the back, and like the star yellow and red like unitard shorts, kind of holding on with one hand, hair flowing in the wind, as they are giddy and screaming with joy as the donuts are being made around the town center. As Scotch Bonnet sees you, and you see them immediately, you kind of finish that last circle. Put the brakes down. Everyone's kind of a little dizzy, kind of like falling out of the basket with laughter. The action figure gets off, kind of like this like sea leg kind of like wobble, as it like makes its way back into the crowd. And you lock eyes with Tren, QT, and Duke making their way into the crowd.
Dear Lord, Mr. T, is that Mr. Bonnet entertaining the town?
I mean, I think it's Scotch.
Most irregular.
Most exciting! It
And we-
looks like we have a knight in this town. And Duke is going to rush forward, probably grabbing the battery and some of the cables with him.
I would say like Scotch sees them kind of walking in, without a second thought, just kind of gets up off of the tricycle, leaves the people there to just deal with that themselves, and kind of wanders over. And just, did you find it? Did you get it?
Mr. Bonnet, we've actually found a couple of things that may be useful. It was actually a very
Ooh.
fruitful endeavor. And like,
Okay.
give my cord over to that. I'm assuming you've Duke right here as well.
Oh, Duke probably is carrying alongside QT the rest of, because we have like such a large amount of things that we brought.
I have one tiny like little supercharger cable.
Yeah, so Duke looks at QT and they probably give the proper cables and the piece that we got. And we also do not give the most shiny cables. Those are ours.
As all of the things have been passed over to you, Duke, and you kind of see out of the corner of like another area where you can charge up and plug in, where you don't have to worry about going to revival. You sit down, you plug in. Some of the townspeople have brought over the tricycle, so you have a nice place to relax. And you all sit and watch as the town is giddy and filled with laughter and joy, and there's music. And then you hear a noise. Beep. 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 And you watch as you hear metal scrape along the ground. You hear the sound of cardboard crunching. And you look up from where you were sitting. And QT, you see Dahlia and Sebastian and Craig dangling from this large toothed machine. Duke, you see as Mrs. B's shop, the glitter falling, the bedazzlements hitting the ground with a click, 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 clink, and Miss B holding on. And Tren, you see something new. You see a box, and you see within inside of it Captain John S. Cooker, sealed in plastic. His hands moving and banging on this confinement. Beep, 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 beep. As all of those shift into the shadows. The town is silent. Half of it in the unknown. And that's where we're going to end tonight. So, if you enjoyed this first session of Threadbare in this wonderful Stitch Punk post-apocalyptic town and these wonderful characters and players, and want to tune in next week to see where the unknown takes them. Before we sign off for this evening, I'm going to hand it back over to all of you to introduce yourselves one more time, where they can find you before we see y'all next week to figure out what just happened. We're going to go in reverse order, so we'll start with you, Jason.
Okay. My brain is. Okay. Hi. I'm Jason Larock. You can find me on social medias at J_SON Larock because I'm original and can't think of anything else. I don't know. What else am I supposed to say? My brain is broken.
That's perfect. Oh,
Yeah,
whatever you want to say.
what a crazy session. For the first one, I guess. I'm very excited to see what kind of strange interactions we have going forward, especially since now there's an opportunity for all four of us to travel together. And definitely come back, because if future sessions are anything like this, I have no idea what could happen at this point. Who knows?
I think next on the line is DJ.
All right, y'all. Again, my name is DJ. You can find me on the site formerly known as Twitter as DJ_KQ. You could also add me on Discord if you really wanted to. I lurk there a lot. Shinsei Durhal, it's been on the screen the entire time. And I've had the delightful opportunity to play Miss QT or Carmen, depending on which outfit I'm wearing this evening.
Aaliyah.
Hello, I am the sorceress Aaliyah on the site formerly known as Twitter. You can find me at the sorceress Aaliyah at B-Sky Social, whatever those ones are. They've been up all around. You can find me there. I chat, I come around. You will see me again next week.
And last but not least, Kai Duke.
Yeah, I'm a little astonished. Like, wow, I'm surprised by how things went. But my name is Kai. Y'all can find me on Discord at Glaciate. It's like Glaciate, but instead of a G, it's a K. I'm very original, and yeah, I can't wait to wear all this and play more next week because I'm that curious now.
I mean, I had to leave it on a little bit of a cliffhanger. I appreciate all of y'all so much. And I cannot wait to dive into the adventuring part of this adventure. Uh, Before we sign off, of course, I am Erica Jean. I am the GM of this lovely game. You can find me on my socials at CallOnACleric315 over on Instagram, or CallOnACleric15 on that site formerly known as Twitter, as well as all of the 5% chance socials. Uh, Thank you for everyone who stuck around, who watched. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And until next time, we love you. And we'll see you at the Oasis. Good night.